Hello, friends. Let me ask you, are the global AI regulations a death kennel for innovation or the spark for a $1 trillion industry? In this video, we will dive deep into the immediate seismic impact of the new, stricter global AI laws like the EU AI Act on both lean technology startups and established tech giants. Let's go. Stop scrolling. The conversation around the artificial intelligence just changed. For the last 5 years, it has been about breakneck speed and disruptive innovation. Today, it's about the deadlines and dollars. Global governments have dropped the hammer. We are now living in an era of regulation, shockwave, a new wave of AI laws creating unprecedented compliance cost. But here is a twist, also unlocking the largest investment opportunity in the modern tech history. Is this a startup killer or a gold rush? Let's find out. To understand the shockwave, we have to look at its source. The major new laws taking effect right now. This is not some future threat. It's an immediate reality driven by EU, the US, and the Asian countries like India and China. It's a risk-based approach. Unacceptable risk systems are banned outright. High-risk systems like those in credit scoring, employment, or critical infrastructure face strict obligation like mandatory data quality check, human oversight, and extensive technical documentation before they can hit the market. And it rules for general purpose AI, which is also known as GPAI model, like GPT-4 and Claude are already taking the effect. The US is less unified but just as forceful. The state level laws like those in California and Texas are tackling the specific harms from algorithmic discrimination in employment to mandatory disclaimers for generative AI content. Federal executive orders reinforce safety, security, and transparency for government use, pushing the entire industry towards a self-governance under a watchful eye. In Asia, countries like China and India and South Korea are focusing on deepfake and data provenance, requiring mandatory labeling of synthetic content to protect public trust. The message is clear: trustworthy AI is only AI that will be allowed to scale. Let's talk about the immediate pain point. For most companies, the initial reaction to the shockwave is cost and complications. The age of launching a product and asking for forgiveness later is over. The shift creates three huge burdens: documentation and traceability. And when we talk about traceability, it is actually the paper trail. The sheer volume of technical documentation required for high-risk system is staggering. Company needs to log every decisions, every data set, and every risk assessment. A process that can add tens of thousands of dollars to the development cost of a single AI application. Small startups with limited resources are disproportionately affected. Data quality and bias mitigation. Regulators are targeting algorithmic discrimination that force companies to spend huge amount on auditing their training data to ensure fairness. This is often not a one-time fix but a perpetual audit cycle. Failure to comply can result in fines reaching millions or even billions of dollars, just like we have seen with GDPR. Talent scarcity. Who does all this work? A new role has emerged: the AI compliance officer or an AI risk engineer. These specialists are in a massive demand, and their high salaries are a significant new operational cost that every scaling AI company now faces. The initial investment is painful, but it is necessary to avoid the financial and reputational ruins of the major regulatory fine. But remember the other side of the shockwave: massive investment opportunities. Regulation does not kill the innovation, it redirects it. The multi billion dollar compliance burden has created a desperate need And wherever there is a desperate need, investors smell a multi-billion-dollar market. Think of it like this. If the GDPR create a booming market for data privacy software, the AI Act is creating an even larger market for AI governance platforms. These companies automate the required documentation, risk assessment, and model monitoring. They are the shovel and picks of the new gold rush. Consumers and the B2B customers are now prioritizing Trust AI, a startup that can genuinely certify its system as compliant and fair suddenly has a competitive moat against the faster but riskier competitors. New companies specializing in trust as a service, third party auditing, certification, and AI safety testing are attracting huge venture capital funding. This is where the innovation shift from pure speed to speed plus safety. Ironically, AI itself is a solution to the compliance problem. We are seeing AI tools designed to analyze code for biases, scan training data for IP infringements, and even create the required regulatory paperwork. The CFA institution, for example, is noting how AI is empowering investment professionals to better detect corporate fraud and raise compliance standards across the board. The tools that help companies stay compliant are the hottest new products on the market. Let's look at how these plays out in the real world. For tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Meta, etc., they have the resources, thousands of lawyers, and dedicated AI safety teams to absorb the initial shockwave. Their strategy is often to influence the regulation and then deploy the vast resources to create their own compliance platform, which they can then sell to smaller businesses, thereby strengthening their market position. The regulation, in a way, becomes a barrier for the entry for a small competitor. For the startup, which we call the pivot, and for the small players, the challenge is existential. They have three choices: pivot to compliance, which is shift their entire business model to selling the compliance tool the giant need, specializing the low cost AI, focus on systems that fall outside the high risk categorization, such as internal efficiency tool, etc. Next is embrace the change. Use compliance as a feature, not as a burden. Market their product as certified fair within quotes or AI Act compliant within quotes again to attract the premium customers in regulated industries like finance and healthcare. It is winnowing process. Many fail, when many will fail, but one that adopt will be stronger, more trustworthy, and immensely valuable. The regulation shockwave is more than just a momentary tremor. It's rewiring of the entire tech economy. It forces a fundamental trade-off: speed for stability. The next decade of AI will be defined by the responsible innovation, with ethics are backed by the regulation, and also the code itself will get a boost, not bolted as an afterthought. This will slow down pure product launches, but it will dramatically increase the societal trust and market values of the product which are launched in the market. For investors, the safety bets are no longer the flashpoint applications, but the underpinning infrastructure that makes the safe, compliant AI possible. For entrepreneurs, the opportunity lies in solving the most painful, most expensive problem facing every company: how to build AI without breaking the law. The tech economy is not shrinking, it is actually maturing, and the price of maturity is the compliance. So, friends, what do you think about this? Is AI regulation a necessary guardrail or an unnecessary burden on innovation? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the future of technology and finance, and check out the resource link to description to start your own AI compliance audit today. All right, and I will catch you again in the next one.